Nets is like, hey, it's fine. I'm not going to counterpick. Just let me have it. Give me the Bruno. Give me something a little bit more lane dominant, the Swiss Army knife of gold laners, and we'll be fine.
Yeah, without the Harif and the Ixia, Bruno now feels a lot more comfortable. I think the closest hero that can match up to with Bruno in an ego challenge is probably the Brody, but we haven't really seen too much of Brody. We're seeing a lot more Claude being picked up as the late game insurance. At the same time, you also get to keep Sabas here for last, right? And the Paquito was led through this game.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see whether or not what the EXP lane choice for the side of SRG is going to be. Because whatever it is, it's going to get counterpicked at the end of the day, right? And keep in mind, it's got to have a good amount of burst damage here. It doesn't necessarily have to be ultra tanky. It's got to be semi-tank. So I'm thinking of the likes of Terizla. I'm thinking of the likes of Yuzong. Even if they really want to play, Arla in those types of situations, it's got to be something with enough impact in the game.
So we see the carry and the Yuzong being picked up. Yuzong, perfect ultimate to just find that backline. And even if you can't finish off the Novaria, at least you are a distraction. Right? You are someone that is opening up kind of this battle zone for your team. That carry into Bruno matchup, that's what's going to make or break that gold lane. Whether how much Nets can punish Innocent in the early game is going to dictate how much this carry gets.
Yeah, and now we see what this final pick is going to be for the side of the Homebois. I mean, they see the full composition. They have a strong dive. They can push and pull. So many different options to get across the map. It's going to be a little frustrating, but it looks like it's going to be the X-Borg. Now, this is a skill matchup here. It's not necessarily favored one way or another. Yuzong has a couple of good options to deal with the X-Borg until the X-Borg gets his first item, which again, it depends. If he goes for the War Axe, there's a good chance that he might lose. If he does opt to go for something a little bit more defensive, for an example, if he goes for Ice Queen Wand, or even if he decides to go for the Dominance Ice, there is a possibility of losing lane control.
Or more or lesser seen build nowadays is the first item, Immortality. Right? That could be an option. Not ideal, but it also comes down to how that lane goes. I mean, if the Yuzong is constantly breaking on armor, Virga armor, especially before the first turtle fight, that's where it might get a bit tough for the X-Borg. Look,
it's MPL MY. They're gonna ego challenge it, whether they forget first blooded or not. They're like, I'm gonna die. I'm still gonna commit to the War Axe. I'm gonna kill you later on. Just give me some time.
Yeah, the best offense is the best defense. Have you not seen Roger?
Yep.
Yeah, have you not seen Innocent? Well, it's game 2 between Homebois and Selangor Red Giants. This time SRG on that blue side and Homebois on the red. We gotta see if SRG can continue this momentum and close it out with a 2-0.
All right, let's see how it's going to play out here. This early game is so important because any little bit of influence in the side lanes could really change it up. We expect that Carrie is not going to exactly do the best in the lane. The only way she beats that Bruno is if Bruno walks into the light wheel on accident.
And even then, even if you get an initial kill onto Bruno, it still doesn't really stop the Bruno, right? That's how oppressive that early game can be. But at least for the middle lane, we're seeing Udio just utilizing this Novaria, trying to impact the side lanes, especially that carry as much as possible in the early game. That's what she's best at, and that's what Udio is trying to do.
Yep, and here we go, Sabat.
That's that armor.
That's the armor, right? That level 1 can be so dangerous, and now the question is, how much can Cram get off of this, right? How many minions can he make him lose in the meantime?
And Stormy doing a very good job of just dodging the Star Shatter. That is very, very crucial for the Nana. You talk about that low base health that Nana has. A couple of Star Shatters and you are missing out waves. But Zorn also pushed away by Yums, and look at that one. That burst, bringing Yums down low.
Man, Innocent up against someone like Nets. Like, we know that Nets is a very good laner, right? Very lane dominant laner. But Innocent wants to ego challenge him, takes Master Assassin, and is like, just give me that one chance. One more time.
I've been seeing a lot of that, of Master Assassin being taken in that gold lane, whether it's Bruno, whether it's Carrie, I mean Roger, I've seen it on Brody as well. Even Claude. Claude, a hero that doesn't fight in the early game. He's taking Master Assassin because he's like, you ignore me for one moment. I hit level 4, I get max stacks on my Art of Thievery. It's lights out for early to judge, but it's going in a positive direction for SRG.
Yeah, we're only hopeful for it, but let's continue on with this game as we're looking at the current state of it. Not much of a lead on either side, but it looks like SRG with just minor leads all across the board. So guys, on this Barat's just looking for any kind of gold on the map for the time being to maintain the stacks, more importantly. So looks like Matilda's still on the top side of the map, does not want to actually go for this turtle just yet.
Different role for Sakai as well, this time not on an assassin. Takes a chunk of damage. Here comes the Black Dragon form. They want to contest this turtle. Sakai is already at the turtle pit. They're looking for the Fredrin, and they found him. Chibi gobbled up, and it's going to be swallowed for first blood. Hand over to Cram once more. And I don't think Homebois can fight this. Some pokes from Udio to bring Stormy down low, but not low enough. Zorn wants to hit the back line, but you have a Matilda there, and now Zorn does not have the ultimate, gets dragged back, and is a welcome gift from the side of Selangor Giants to force out that ultimate from Sapat. Without Firaga armor, SRG back on the turtle.
Yep, it's tough. It's kind of tough for Homebois because, again, they're very all in. Those who want to be able to provide their damage do it from afar. Sakai's is going to easily secure this turtle, especially since Chibi just isn't there. But he's going to fall behind, and that's what the concerning part here. We know that Barat is able to snowball off of just a single kill and really push that lead into the enemy jungle. It's about oppressing your opponents more than looking to make significant plays of your own.
Speaking about oppression, Innocent is giving Ness that treatment. Ness is behind in XP, and he just hit level 5. Innocent has been level 5 for quite a while. And you can see how safe Ness is playing. He's hiding in the bushes, he's not showing his face. And Innocent, he is hard shoving waves. He's taking the gold crab, and he's just kind of chilling in the lane. There's nothing that's threatening him right now. Zorn can't afford to spend time going to the gold lane when the rest of the lane needs his attention. Final slash onto Yums. Here comes that Astral Echo. Yums, can he get away? The Fredrin ultimate does miss, and Yums re-engages with Circling Eagle. This time onto Zorn, who gets gobbled up by Sekai, spat into a wall, and it's going to be Yums to pick up the kill.
Yep, and I mean, it's great. They even have Cram as a, with the Black Dragon form, as a insurance policy, right? He will be sacrificing a full wave down on that bottom side, and I mean, it's not much of a loss. There's still that gold plating, but look at the EXP. It's so minuscule to each other. Krams has already out-leveled Subpod. He hasn't even evened it out, even with the extra wave.
And it's the same scenario as last game. Cram willing to give away his wave. He's getting something done elsewhere, right? It's not about playing for myself for the entire game. It's about playing for my team. And Nets, he's going to feel that heat. 4 members of SRG in the top lane. Nets, no chance to get away. Hand it over to Sekai.
Big play coming off for the side of SRG. As soon as you saw it, right? Cram spotted out 2 members in his river. He's like, oh boy, I'm out of here. SRG, decisive on the dive on top side.
It's like, wow, this Fredrin is bot side, but Turtle is spawning up top. They can't come top anyways. Let's make a play. And this gold plating fed to Innocent. He's going to get as much as he can, and Udio will clear out the wave. Half a plate, more than half a plate is gone. And here comes the turtle contest. I
don't know. Udio is kind of running low on mana here. Homebois, they're going to pull the turtle initially first. They just want control over it. They don't want to commit to it just yet.
Udio is trying to chip out Stormy's help as much as possible. You can see them positioning themselves in that mid wave. Stormy is going to be the target, but fortunately Chibi doesn't get the knock-up. That means Stormy gets to clear the wave. Udio doing his absolute best to make sure that this Nana isn't fit to join the fight, but Zorn, he's already down low. Look at Cram forcing him away with the passive, and up top he's got a solo kill onto Ness by Innocent. Sapat forced to use the last Insanity as a means to escape, and this turtle fed to the Barats once more.
Yep, SRG doing a phenomenal job. They're going to walk straight in towards their orange buff jungle. I mean, guys, he's playing very warily of this export, but he's got to move out of this lane sooner rather than later.
And speak of the devil, Sapat just went down. I believe it's a full Molina Blitz combo. The top tier 1 is dead.
Disgusting.
Remember early on we had the smack talk session between Gojes and Udio was like, talk less, play more. Oh, but then you can say, well, we lost, but Gojes, you're not playing. You know?
I mean, that's essentially, either or, depending on the way you want to translate it, means exactly the same thing, right? Because again, Gojes is not up on that stage, and Cram is doing a phenomenal job right now.
Phenomenal.
Like, he is putting so much pressure on this map single-handedly, zoning them out before the fight even starts.
Chibi, where did that health go?
He's gone.
Wait, it's what, like 6 minutes?
It is, yeah, 6 minutes and he's already chunking out Fredrins.
Yep, Sekai just get pulled away. That's the advantage of having Matilda, and so far SRG are still deathless in this game. Both side lane tier 1s have been cracked.
This is going to go on for at least another 3 more minutes, right? Like, Selangor Red Giants basically can take whatever they want off the map. The mid-turret just needs to stay strong for the Homebois. It's such a big contention point, and SRG, if they see Homebois overcommit to one side for the defense, they want to take that mid-turret down as soon as possible.
Well, the Monena Blitz does miss. And also one of the macro rulebooks for a lot of top teams is that we can give away the side lanes, but if the mid tier 1 stands, it actually is sort of equivalent to having the side lane tower still standing, because you get control of that jungle, right? It's easier to move around the map, and that's what not just MPL teams, like MAL teams, MDL teams have been practicing a lot. I think Todak Legion in MAL has been showing this very consistently. Homebois Syndicate as well has been practicing this routine in every single one of their games, and of course it comes from Homebois themselves. But how long can you hold on to that turret?
We'll see. These next couple of turtles are going to be really difficult for the side of the Homebois, right? Because we're thinking about how a team fight needs to... Wait. Yums, he's going to get pulled back here.
Has the shield from the guiding wind. More than enough to get out, but he won't have the circling eagle. There's no angle to even contest this turtle, unfortunately. So everything that Homebois threw at Yums, at the end of the day, is still SRG getting what they want. Yeah,
it's got to be a little frustrating here, but, I mean, at the end of the day, it only takes one big fight for the Homebois to turn things around. And until that point, and until that opportunity shows itself, it's going to be very passive from here on out.
I want to look at the item build for Innocent, because he did go for Quantum Charge instead of Brace Might.
Oh, that's
true.
So
he could go for the Holy Trinity, right? Your classic carry build. That could explain why Chibi's health bar disintegrated that fast.
I think... If we really take everything into consideration, it might be...
Oh, yeah, there it is.
That's exactly the case here. Yeah, because I'm thinking, what reason would you want to actually have the Thunderbelt in this particular style? Because Zorn is very much all in. If you catch out Udil, he doesn't want to be in the front lines anyway. Nets, he also doesn't really want to be in the front lines.
Oh my goodness.
He's
awareness. The game sense to scout Chibi in that bush without vision. And now Sabat will have to flicker the safety. That's the final strike from Zorn. Do you have the damage though? Yums over the turret for the kill, given away to Cram. And that's the mid-tier one finally falling. SRG is still going strong.
Wow, it took a play like that to crack open a tier 1. They've set a high standard themselves for the rest of the league to follow.
How do you have the presence of mind to be like, I think Chibi's in there. I think someone is in there. Here comes the full combo.
I think it's process of elimination, right? Because again, we're seeing nobody being shown. They know that the purple buff is generally coming up because that was the last buff that Sky specifically stole. So they have a timer on it, right? Then they know that the orange buff is already there, and a couple of the side waves are missing. So therefore, it's a process of elimination. There's two possible places that he could be, either by Pixel or River Brush, or which they did eventually check, or the exact brush which they jumped into. I don't think there's any loss. Even if you whiff the ability, right?
At least for right now, I think when you look at SRG's state of mind, they're definitely feeling really good about themselves. Yums making active move. You look at Yums in the New Jersey, but you still feel like this is the Todak Yums at its prime. I think SRG definitely brought back some of that feeling, not taking anything away from Todak. I think he's done fantastic, but it's good to see him under a new banner and still having that kind of presence of mind to help his team.
Yeah, and I think the best part yet, SRG have this flow to them now, like this new style of flow. It's not just a flow whereby each one of the members need to be really hot and fired up to be able to make super team plays, but now it feels a lot more structured, but at the same time, they still have that philosophy of, hey, if we need to adapt on the fly, everybody can adjust accordingly.
Both side lane tier 2s have been taken out, and with this Lord in the bottom lane, then mid tier 2, I don't think you can defend it as Homebois. You have to give it. They say SRG, give SRG, take, but they're not giving an inch, they're taking every inch.
Yeah, this tier 2 should eventually follow off of the next wave here, but I don't know. At the end of the day, if the Homebois are able to hold out for at least one of their inhibitor turrets, they might have an opportunity, because I think the SRG aren't in a position to fully commit just yet. Yes, they are 6,000 gold ahead, but they're currently at the 33,000 mark, not at the 42,000 mark, right? So that even if they want to like tank turrets, they can't necessarily tank it forever.
But I think if you're SRG, you can just continue to be patient, right? Why take that big leap of faith when you can just balloon this lead as much as you can? And it's also one of the fundamentals when you are pushing high ground. When you have this advantage, you take everything that you can. Starve up the jungle, starve up the wave, freeze your own wave, in fact, so that Homebois can't even walk out the map. Yep. Look at that mid wave. It's been reset. SRG, they can take their time clearing this out.
Good stuff. Good stuff from the side of SRG, right? They just posture for it. A lot of teams need to learn how to posture a lot better, and I think this is maturity coming out from the side of SRG, whether it's from the experience and the teachings of Coach Arcadia, or whether it's the fact that Innocent and as well as Cram are willing to follow these rules.
To also give a bit of attribute to Veki as well. He himself is a very controlled player back then, across multiple titles. I do wonder what the dynamic is between these two coaches. Well, hold on thought for a while, because Yums has just found a big circling eagle onto 3 targets, and Chibi can't even land that Appraisal's Wrath. Dodged by Innocent.
Big catch for the side of SRG, but can they convert this into an inhibitor turret? I think they might be able to.
Yep.
It still has a ballista. If they zone nets out, yep, that's an inhibitor turret down. Chibi's life and an inhibitor turret, and maybe even a second one?
Second one. Here comes the polymorph onto Zorn, but trying to brick wall this, they're barely holding that structure together.
Oh man, if they lost the second one, like losing an inhibitor is bad enough on top of, as a conversion for the side of SRG, but losing 2 inhibitors, that's just ungodly.
This is painful for Homebois. And we thought game 1 was clean enough, but this one is as clean as it can get. Final flash being Cram back into the base, and Cram just leaps out with a furious dive, and Sabat, he has to flicker away from the Manila Blitz. The Boomerang, another 4-man lockup with the circling Eagle, and Yums helping his team to get the second inhibitor down bot.
All right, I mean, the boys currently, as of right now, are just too far behind to really do much or look for that big punish, but if SRG keeps on playing this controlled and honestly not making not making mistakes at all for the time being that Homebois could exploit, it's going to eventually fall into the lap of SRG. This next Lord itself, with the empowered minions, the strong Lord, the only person who can really take those things down with high health pools against neutral creeps is going to be Nets. He's got his 3 items, he's got the gold, but unfortunately he just does not have the space.
Can't even show yourself, right? Bruno, by default, someone with shorter attack range compared to everyone else. And you look at SRG, their spells, you are within arm's reach of their spells. Anything can hit you. You don't want to be caught by Stormy, and that is actually the most threatening hero compared to the Yuzhong, which is pretty ironic, considering Yuzhong is the one diving you.
Yeah, that's also true. But let's not forget, right? Any kind of CC setup, whoever that Skies is able to catch with Daytona's Welcome is essentially considered dead at that point, right? Nobody can really tank the damage at this point in time. And even if we look at Chibi, right, he just does not have the items or the gold to even compare, right? 2,000 behind against Skies. He's pulled out a complete item, and now he's just going to try his best.
It's going to be knocked up, spat out. You get the final slash onto Sekai. Sekai's Winter Truncheons to de-aggro the Crystal, and now he's a full dive with Cram, forcing out the Purify for this Bruno, but I don't need any kills, I just need the Crystal! Clean as a whistle from Selangor Red Giants.
Nicely done. With the debut of a new roster here and some new imports, they're looking more like a team. A huge win for SRG.
It's not often you hear the Homebois side of the crowd this silent.
Yep.
Echoes of the drums, but nothing more than that. But SRG, they've experienced heartbreak last season, and now to open it up on such a high note, they've definitely set the standard. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Beating previous champions here. It's going to be a big defeat for the side of the Homebois, but it does show that there's still room for improvement. There's ways to grow. Homebois, they're not going to be dropping any tears just yet. They understand, all right, it's going to